very self-critical, not individually, but as a community. You know, like I don't like complainers.
Yeah.
They piss me off. You know, like it's okay to complain and identify an issue, but it's usually it's usually the complainers who end up being the haters once it's done.
Yeah.
Like
Hello. Welcome to the Gyst Rewind Podcast, where we bring context to culture. I'm your host, Kobe Taylor. In this show, we'll explore what it is to be a creator and bring new ideas for what it means to be an artist. We also hope to create connections and the opportunity to learn something new within our society. So sit back, relax, and just rewind. Problem if we keep getting unplugged. Welcome to another episode of Gyst Rewind Podcast. We bring context to culture. It's been a long time. People got lives and shit. But we have a very special guest. Someone who, we appreciate letting us come into a studio. It's beautiful. Showing us around. So, bro, tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first and foremost, thanks, guys, for having me. My name is Jake Riley, a.k.a. B-Boy Boogie B. Studio owner here at House of Dance Twin Cities. That's where the podcast is coming from. I also represent Optimistic Crew, a local breaking or b-boy crew that's been around now for almost 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. Dope. So, like, where did you go? Like, so I guess we kind of do, like, what would we say, like, the beginning, right? So where did you grow up at? What did you do? What was life like being a young Jake?
There you go. Yeah. So born and raised in Minneapolis, South Side Minneapolis. Was born, lived there, and then I shouldn't say fully raised because I moved to Brooklyn Park when I was about 5 years old. Been in Brooklyn Park, still live in Brooklyn Park today.
Okay.
I started breaking in 2004, July of 2004. So it's 2024. You know what that means? It's like I said, almost been 20 years of breaking.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. I used to skate pretty heavily before I braked. There's a lot of parallels in terms of skating and breaking being some subcultures. And so, skated, hurt myself, couldn't come back to it, lost the passion, and then got into breaking when I was like 11, 12-ish years old.
Okay.
Still doing it.
Very interesting. I didn't know about that because I could relate on that because also I used to skate as well before transitioning into breaking.
Yeah.
Is that like something with dance? Because a lot of people I know who dance used to skateboard or they used to do some type of extreme sport.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parallels. I think it's so individualized. Like it's not like a team sport where you play like soccer or football or whatever. Like your skill is dependent upon your practice or what you put into it. So obviously, like skating, I was super into it. I got pretty good, I think, for my age. And then breaking is the same way. It's you have a crew, but like you have to put in the work to develop your skill. And I say like beyond that, like some of the first hip hop music I heard was skating. Like Gangstar, Guru. I was like already into Gangstar before I started breaking, and then when I heard it in breaking, I'm like, oh, this is a smooth transition. This is easy.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Rest in peace, Guru.
Yeah,
Right. Rest in peace. Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it just strictly like just skating and breaking? Did you do anything else other than just?
Yeah, I played 1 year of football.
Okay.
I was like 10. I don't even think I was that good at it. I got coach gave me the playbook. I never read it. I just showed up and did my thing. But I love football. If I wasn't breaking or doing this, I would be playing more football. But now that I'm into my 30s, I'm almost 32.
Right.
I'm not going to be playing football and trying to break. We touched base about this before we got started here, but like taking less risks on my body. So this is all I do.
Yeah, you're a family man.
Yeah.
So how did you end up finding the scene when you started off breaking? Because that was 2004, way before where social media is at now.
Right.
Yeah. So, say like where the scene was at.
So sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, I'll start over. So, how did I find the scene in 2004? So in 2004, like the scene wasn't that big. There was a few crews, like the few crews that could remember, just want to give quick shout outs to is at the time it was like Propaganda Crew or Power Rangers Crew.
Yeah, I remember.
There was Groove Nuts, which is like Stepchild's crew. There's Battle Cats. And then beyond that, like there was Break Brats as well, which collaboration crew. Those are Hmong crews. They turned into Loonies or Looney Tunes. So when I started, there was only like 3 or 4 crews. There was probably a couple dozen people doing it for real. Yeah. And there was like 1 event or 2 events per year to look forward to. So how did I find it? I went to a friend's house, friend's birthday party. His name is Kang. And he was like, excuse me, he was, they did a talent show at Brooklyn Junior High, the junior high school I went to. And it was a group of like 8 Hmong dudes just going crazy, just like flying around. And I'm sitting here and I'm like blown the F away. You know what I mean? Like blown away. And so I kept bothering him like, hey, I want to learn. At first they're like, man, whatever, you know, like I don't think this guy's serious or whatever. But I kept bothering them enough and coming around. And from there, I kind of wanted more. And so I formed my own crew, Optimistic Crew. And we would look out for little like park events or events going down.
Right on.
And we get into this more later, but the first event where I really saw the scene was an event called Falling with Style 2. Yep. And that was at go ahead.
That was also my first ever break.
Oh, for real?
As well. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, that was at Grace Fellowship Church in Brooklyn Park, which I live like two minutes from there now. So it's crazy to drive by there every day and be like, that's where
back full circle.
Full circle.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And so that's how I got really introduced to the scene.
Okay.
It was through battles. I think that's important to note. Like that's what drives the scene, or events or battles.
Right on.
Yeah.
And now, did you end up finding, not to stay up with the battlefield in Minnesota, because I'm familiar with the scene and I know how small it is. Did you have to do any battling or?
Oh yeah, a ton of it. So I didn't win my first, I'm not talking like event, I'm talking like singular battle until maybe like my 5th, 6th, or 7th competition. I just like, just losing right away, because you're new to it, Yeah. So before I started traveling, I wanted to make sure my feet were really, like I was on solid footing here locally first, and so, yeah, like started getting a name, Optimistic started getting out there, won our first battle at First Ave, actually at Hip Hop Fest, which was like 2006, I think. It was the last one that they did, unfortunately. And then from there, we won our first jam, which was a 3v3 battle, and it was a fundraising jam for B-Girl Mona Lisa at Champlin Park High School. And then from there, we're like, oh, okay, we're winning now. Like we're coming up, like we're towards the top of the scene. And that's when I got the idea to travel. So the first time we traveled was to Madison, Wisconsin for Breaking the Law, which was super dope. And there was like international crews from everywhere. Really opened my mind. But I mean, from then to now, I mean, I've been all over the country, California, New York, all over the country multiple times. I've been to Belgium. I've been to France. I've been to Mexico for a battle. I won a jam in Mexico. I've been to Canada, Montreal, went out there, and then went to Calgary. I haven't been to Asia yet. Hopefully this next year or the year after, I'm going to go to Asia to compete. But yeah, that's like the dream. Is like
you've been consistent for years.
Yeah, the goal.
Did you ever think, starting in 2004, that you would ever be going to Belgium off of dancing?
Nah, not at all.
Wild.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. And the cool thing is like I funded that trip. Like coming up when I was a kid, I would hear about people getting flown out, and that was like, that's how you know you're on. Like that's how you know you're the shit, And so I didn't get like I've been flown out to events, but I was like, now that I'm grown, I'm like,
yourself.
Man, I'll just go myself, whatever. So my good friend Joe, Minnesota Joe, got invited out there, and there was a crew battle. So he's like, hey, this was just a couple years ago. He's like, hey, just join me in the crew battle. And so I flew myself out there with my wife, Bao. Shout outs to Bao. And we went and did it. But to answer your question directly, no, not at all. When I'm 2004 being like a 13-year-old kid in my basement, nah, not at all. I was just doing it for fun.
I also like how you just pointed out that like now you can pay for yourself. Because I think that's also just you showcasing, you identified what a win means to you.
Yeah.
A lot of times wins mean different things to people, but it's like, hey, maybe I want to be able to afford it myself, not to depend upon somebody else paying, you know.
Right. Yeah. 100%. I feel like I've had plenty of great opportunities. I also have felt like, and I don't know if this is like a Minnesota thing or if it's a me thing or a combination, a little bit of an underdog. Like I had to work and still do have to work really, really hard to get the recognition. And so, yeah, with that, it's like, and this is kind of part of the reason why the studio came about. It was like, don't rely on others, like open your own doors. Particularly, there's a lot of, still today, there's a lot of opportunity within the hip hop scene. I think of different avenues that can be like sought through and that can be, just.
Right on.
Yeah, just
we've heard that before too.
Yeah.
I think my buddy Gyst said that in a different podcast where you keep knocking on the door, eventually you make your own door.
100%. 100%.
Then you make your own house.
Yeah, 100%.
House of dance.
House of dance.
Yo, yeah.
Putting shit together on the fly.
I have a quote, you know, it's like right now sponsorships are a big thing in the breaking and hip hop scene. And our studio currently is partnered with Red Bull. So we're super grateful to them for that. But personally for me is like, I sponsor myself. Like this is my sponsor, you know what I mean? And you wear your brand, you build your brand, your company, and you know, if hopefully it's successful, you can pay for your own flights. And then it's a business expense.
Exactly.
So there you go.
You got the game right. And
Yeah.
I like that also, like advertise yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're putting on Nike brands, advertising for them. Like rock your shit. Now so now 2004, you've gone through all the battling. When did House of Dance become into existence?
Yeah, 2014. Okay. So 10 years in, and it wasn't like, again, like going back to your question, like did I know that House of Dance would even be a thing? No. But one thing is that when I did start, you know, like you're asking like, how did you find the scene? At the time, there was no space for breaking. Like hip hop still today, like then and today was being taught in dance studios that teach like jazz, tap, ballet, contemporary, modern, so on and so forth.
Right.
And they have they either bring in an instructor to teach hip hop, and 99% of the time it's not hip hop.
Nope.
It's some jazz funk garbage. I ain't even gonna lie. And you know, like that's whack. Like that's appropriation, you know. But at the same time,
that video of that like lady, like old 90s hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
this is hip hop.
Yeah,
This is hip hop.
yeah. And you know what? That girl, I think, is from Minnesota, which is crazy. I heard that. Don't quote me, but I heard that. If we're talking about the same person, and you know, like, but so I always think like, okay, you judge something, right? Like what I just said, like, all these other studios are teaching hip hop and it's whack. Okay, but don't stop there. If that's the problem, then fix it.
Yeah.
So somebody from the hip hop scene needs to do something about it.
Right.
And so that is 10 years later, 2014. You know, I gave it 10 years. I'm like, somebody's going to open a space. Something's going to shake. And 2014 comes along and there's still no space, at least here. But, and this is important, I think, to add, is that I had a really, really great mentor named Mex One. Creator of B-Boy Spot and biggest and baddest down in Florida, who had a space called the B-Boy Spot. And he's an entrepreneur, traveled the world, created his own clothing brand. And he opened a space and provided free practice for the scene. And like being a young kid in like 2010, I was 18, I was blown away. I was like, what? This is crazy. So he really put me on, gave me and then my good friend Wealthy, put us onto like knowledge. Loonies. Yeah, now Loonies. He also reps Rock Force Crew. Lives out in Vegas. But shout outs to Wealthy. So Mex is just the man, dude, and much love to him. And we flew down there talking about traveling. I've been to Florida like 20 times, and I would stay out there for like weeks to 2 week stints, like sleep on his floor, just follow him, like not even ask him questions like how he walks, how he moves, how he talks. He didn't know how much I was looking at him like that, but I was. And then, we were actually going to open a B-Boy Spot here in Minnesota, and we were going to vend his gear all around the Midwest jams. And then it just didn't work out. And Mex was like, hey, why don't you guys just open your own spot? I think you can do it yourself. And so that's kind of what spurred the idea. And then we had a team of people come together in the scene kind of from different areas. So we had like myself, Wealthy, Adabomb, so it was like Malvin X or J, Jason Yang, and then Tracy, who was a really big staple in the funk style scene here. So we're like, hey, let's open a space, teach popping, locking, breaking, and that's what it was initially in 2014. Kind of how it came about.
Was Tracy also involved with All Day?
Yeah, she was the sole owner of it. So All Day is like, again, like this is not my story.
It isn't like a dance studio, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No. It's all part of the scene, right? We're talking about the scene, you know. And All Day is a crew first, right. And then from my understanding, again, like I'm gonna have to cross check this to her, but like it was a crew, and then they made it into a company, and then they opened a space, and that space stayed open for I think like 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Yep.
So you got everybody together there and all of that. What's the biggest challenge you faced, like when you got trying to get everything
in the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest challenge is kind of like not knowing what you don't know.
Right.
You know, like you can't rush progress, you can't rush experience. You have to just go through it. But I'll tell you though, like I thought to myself, like, I need to do this. And funny enough, I was living with my mom at the time. I signed a 1-year lease on our first space in Hopkins. Tracy found this space on Craigslist, and it was like $825 a month. And I'm like, I'm broke at this time, right? No money really. And I'm like, I'm gonna sign this lease because no one else wanted to sign it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna sign it because we had all these meetings. We're talking about it. You got to jump off the cliff at some point. Yeah. You're either gonna jump and fly or jump and sink. So I'm gonna sign the lease, and I'm like, you know what? If we don't make a dime on this, like I'll just take out a small loan and pay it off, whatever, you know, fuck it. But I'm sorry, where was I even going with that?
No, so now you found this space and you got to pay rent.
Yeah.
Come up with the rent.
Yeah, so the biggest thing was just, I think, the lack of experience, but the heart and the passion and the energy of like, this is going to happen. I'm going to try this. We are going to do this.
Regardless of what.
Yeah, it way overpowered any like fear. Like there was no fear. Like it was just go. And every day it's just go. Yeah. And then it's like, it went up. It went crazy. And then throughout time, we faced the different challenges. You know, we can get into that too. But I think the initial challenge again was just like, I don't know, like how do you create an invoice? Like business 101. How do you create an invoice? Right. How do you engage with parents, middle income parents, right? Who you're in this little dinky little spot. You're not really like organized yet. It looks a little suspect.
Yeah.
How am I going to convince a 45-year-old suburban mom or dad to even invest in our space? You know what I mean? Like a young entrepreneur at the time. What am I now? Like 20, I was like 22.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And you're trying to convince adults.
To pay me $100, a couple $100 or more, depending on the investment or the whatever. Yeah. Just to kind of get on. And, but that's where a lot of the praise and the appreciation goes out to the scene, because we started a GoFundMe for $5,000. Stepchild donated his speakers. So the startup costs were like nothing. It's like, look at the space. It's like speakers and space. Yep. And the mirrors were already on the walls. So I didn't even have to pay for mirrors. Okay. So I had $5,000 to start. And then Jason was teaching at Xenon. And he said, hey, you can keep learning from me, to like a few students, but there's this new spot that's dedicated to breaking and hip hop called House of Dance out in Hopkins. You guys should go check them out. And then these students are still with us today, like B-Boy E-Man, who's on this mural right here, B-Girl Obvious. They've been with us. Sam is a mural in the back, and a few other students. Now they're like adults, like Avi's 18, he's 16, about to be 17. And so yeah, they've stuck with us, and we've built it out.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Is your classes more focused on the youth, or anybody can come in?
The majority of our options are for youth.
That's dope.
We start classes out. Hip Hop for Tots is ages 3 to 5. Those are pretty good sellers because the parents and guardians get to dance alongside their kid. And all of the parents at the studio teach those classes. So I myself have 2 children. I teach the class. David, B-Boy Abide, Joe, Godsent, James. We all have 2 kids, so we teach those classes. But the majority of the classes are beginning breaking classes or breakdancing classes and hip hop classes from youth ages 6 to, I would say, 10. Like that's our market right there, that 4 to 5 years. But we do have adult classes as well, adult breaking. We have a family hip hop class where it's like like a kid and their parent, father-daughter type deal. Mm-hmm. Then we have adult breaking and adult hip hop classes as well.
That's dope.
Yeah. And how are the adult classes? Would you say like they get crowded or not?
Yeah. So the adult hip hop class is much more packed usually than the adult breaking. And I think it's because like you hit a certain age and you look at a dynamic movement like breaking and you see someone spinning on their head and you're like, man, I'm 40, bro. I'm not going to start trying to do a head spin right now. But there's when someone inquires, I try to talk them back from that, not even just to sell them like, hey, buy the class. It's like chill, we're not going to do a head spin day one. Yeah. We're going to learn the foundation. It's a dance. Like you can start at 40, but the adult hip hop is done standing upright, like learning choreography, dancing together, and those classes go crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, like 25, 30 people in this room just going wild.
That's a workout too, I bet.
Workout, yeah. And the instructors we've had over the years, that's another thing. Like who's on your team is important, and like our team has been insane. Like we've had Frankie Hebris teaching the adult classes. He's amazing. David Jr., a.k.a. The Crown, is like one of the top 5 all-styles freestyle battlers in the world, and that's not even a stretch. Yeah. And then other people throughout the years. So
that's dope.
You have good instructors, people are going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what do you wake up, like, are you super excited? Like, what keeps you going every day?
Yeah.
'Cause I know some days I don't always... You're like, God damn it.
Running a business,
right?
That's especially a very selective business like this. Got to have its ups and downs.
Yeah, 100, man. I think that the biggest constraint we have is good instructors.
Okay.
Yeah, because the quality of our classes, the quality of our space is our instructor team. If you don't have good instructors who are dedicated, I think one thing that's important to note is like, I just break. So you're not going to come take a popping class from me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just break. So you're going to take a breaking class from somebody who's just been breaking for 20 years.
Yep.
There's value in that, you know what I'm saying? And so finding instructors locally here in the Twin Cities to meet that high expectation, to provide the highest, our mission statement is to provide the highest quality hip-hop and street-style dance classes to people of all ages and experience levels. To provide that highest quality, you have to have the highest quality instructors. And that's hard because David Jr. is probably, you might be moving. Yeah, so people come and go, life changes. And when you lose an instructor, you try to have to fill that spot with someone who's of the same caliber. Right. And so what we've been doing, what we've been doing is we're starting a student teacher program so that our students coming up who are reaching adulthood and starting to travel and build their own name. No offense to people working at Burger King or not that I'm not trying to hate on that, but like why go flip burgers when you have a skill already at 17. Right. You can come teach here.
And it's art.
For much more than minimum wage and build your professional career out that way. Mm-hmm. And then we know, hey, these kids are dope. They can meet our expectations because they came up in these expectations. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the longevity of it.
No, I like it. You're looking at the long game plan. You're almost treating it like a sports team where you want to grow with the young athletes. Even if they're not going to sign with you, you still want to grow with them and bring them up and give them the right skill set so later on you can have more resources, I guess, on the scene.
100%. And, hip-hop to me is a youth-driven culture. Mm-hmm. It's the youth that always push it forward. And so we have a hashtag, it's youth is the truth. And so, we provide our classes to the youth. It's the youth that take it to the next level. It's the youth that started hip-hop to the best of my knowledge. And I believe it's the youth that will carry the torch moving forward.
Absolutely.
And so that's a principle that we have. But quick going back to your the day in, day out, what does the day look like when I wake up? How do I keep going? I mean, I'm just still passionate about this. The space is an extension of the passion I've had now for dance. So my life is interconnected, interdependent. So like the studio, like I can practice and build my skill in this space, and I work for the space, and the space feeds me, and it feeds other people. So it's this it's this 360 degree, but I'm not going to front like it's all good. Like just got done with taxes, crunching numbers. I have to be the chief marketing, doing figures, dealing with somebody who might complain about classes or submit a negative review, deal with sometimes blowback of the community if somebody doesn't like the way I'm moving or things like that. I've gone through stuff like that before. And then just the uncertainty of being a business owner, that it's up to you to dictate your future, like your future income. That's always uncertain. So in order for that to be more certain, you have to live in the now. True. You can't worry too much. You just got to, like I said, that no fear, having that same mentality of when the studio opened to
hustle.
Keep going. Right. Just keep going. Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah. Go for it like it's your life, because to me, this is my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now in, what was it? Last year you did something pretty historic. You hosted a Red Bull qualifying event in Minneapolis.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
First of all, before we get into that, I wanted to also ask, like, how have you gone about finding sponsorship? Because, like, to secure something like Red Bull, obviously you're doing something right. You either approached them or they approached you because you just popped up on the radar.
Yep.
How'd you go about even getting the attention of Red Bull and even getting to that level or where they can trust you to actually hold and even getting?
I'll do an intro because we kind of took a quick break. So we're back. Had to do some fixing. You're talking about the day to day and the the stresses and all that. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to sponsorships or
sponsorship.
No, you're good. Sponsorships or partnerships. I like to look at it as partnerships. A lot of people in the scene ask for things, but if you need to think about what the person sitting across from you, whether it's a company or another person, wants. So I'm thinking more about what they want. What can I provide them? What value can I provide them? Then I present that value to them. Not, hey, I'm throwing this event and X company is got a, I hear this all the time. It's $1 billion company. They must have a couple thousand for me to throw my event. Yes, but you just going to them and being like, hey, I'm this dude doing this thing. Give me money. They're going to be like, what? No. So like, why would they?
What's my ROI?
Yeah. Well, exactly. What's the ROI on that? And so for me, like, Red Bull is kind of a natural thing. Years ago, I don't remember the exact year, a Red Bull rep reached out to me via email. But I think going back before this, like I've done the Red Bull BC1 ciphers and things like that.
They knew you.
Yeah. I just keep rolling. We just keep rolling. It's all good. Companies like Red Bull and others have had a major stake in the breaking scene worldwide for over 20 years. And they have different markets. And so when House of Dance Twin Cities came about, I think just my personal connection to being involved with their events and also them seeing that, okay, there's a space dedicated to breaking. There might be something here. They reached out. And then to fast forward that, we've done like gigs for them. They've supported some of our events. But the partnership has really taken off over the last few years because, I always say like you want to be more, you want to be paid more, right? It's not always work more. It's increase your value. Yeah. So like, I'm probably not going to ever win Red Bull BC1 World Final at this point, but I can pivot and host events. I have a space. I'm good on the mic. So I'll host, like you said, the Red Bull BC1 regional cipher at First Avenue. And at First Ave, they got that circular main room, and I always envision having that circular Red Bull BC1 floor in the middle. And so for me to do that last year was a truly dream come true.
Yeah, honestly, like that, it was cool. It's cool to know that you actually had involvement to it, to where we're going to choose the venue.
Yeah.
Because it was iconic to do it at First Ave. First Ave is already a historic venue to begin with.
Amazing, bro. So, yeah, how many crazy just hip-hop moments in general have been there? Right. Music, art, culture moments. Right. It's kind of like, I don't know if there's like a more like cultural important venue in the Twin Cities than First Ave in terms of music. And we all know about Prince and things like that. But so that was big. And I just think like, I want to provide value. If you hire me or if you hire House of Dance or both, like I want to hire value. I want to provide that value. So I try to do my absolute best hosting. We provided them some consulting. So like, hey, I can perform for you, I can consult for you, I can host for you, I can help organize and promote for you. Those are like 5 different value markers right there that are all, you can get paid for all. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what we would provide and do look to provide for future partners and sponsors moving forward.
Oh yeah. So
Versatility.
thing in, reach out.
Yeah, versatility. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
It's a good way to think about things. I like what you said that. Kind of like I'm thinking like not all money is always like that. The most money isn't always the best way to get your money.
Yeah.
Like your name is a bigger thing than what the money can do for you.
Yeah, and just like again, like we all could use more money.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? So like I've been in rooms with people and they're like, yeah, I gotta get sponsored, or we gotta get a sponsorship, and I need $2,000. First and foremost, why $2,000?
Yeah. How'd you come with that number?
Like, or 200 or 220 grand.
Right.
And like, again, think about what the other party wants, and
What
can
are you
you
giving
fit that?
back?
Yeah. Because if you came here and asked me, hey, can you fix my car? If I touched your car, I would ruin your car.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so are you the right person for the job? Do you have the skills? What are your values? Or what value can you bring? And then can you actually follow through on it?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I also would like to add on that the values could also be resources, you know.
Yeah.
What physical resources can you bring as well?
Yeah, for sure. Like, don't be a one-trick pony, you know, like,
Like I like it with you because you can also, I can also bring dancers to you, like actual real dancers who understand the scene and will be good, I guess, pretty much good ambassadors.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I like about with you guys at House of Dance. Knowing all you guys, you're very, as you say, very skill focused, but also aside from it, like you guys know your dance, and you're actually trying to pass the knowledge.
100%.
Because I'm sure we've all come across some instructors where it's like you're just trying to like either get clout or you're trying to just make your quick buck.
Yeah.
You're not really trying to make this sustainable.
Yeah.
Keep it growing.
Yeah, and you can feel it. It's a feeling thing, you know. You could feel like right away, like what it is right away. You know, I mean, what it is right away. And yeah, you know, authenticity is a huge thing for us, for myself. Always staying 10 toes down in the community, in this.
One of these is loose then.
Yeah, one of these are loose. Now I can hear everybody. That's great. Go ahead, bro.
You good? Now, what was it? Oh, yeah, but also just being very self-critical, not individually, but as a community. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't like complainers.
Yeah.
They piss me off. You know, like it's okay to complain and identify an issue, but it's usually it's usually the complainers who end up being the haters once it's done.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna sit here and name names, but like, well, we need a spot that's only for hip hop. We need a hip hop spot. We need a hip hop shop. We need a blah 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 blah. And then when it opens, man, I could do it better. He's not, or she's not doing it right. Yeah,
Your biggest critics are going to be people who are not doing anything.
My gosh, dude, and I just have no time. I literally have no time or space for that. Like, I shouldn't even be mentioning it in the thing. But I think it's important, like, just to talk about, like, if you're gonna complain or identify a problem, like, try to solve it or put somebody in the right position to solve it. You know what I mean?
And that kind of ties into my question, like, what do you think is like in the culture, like hip hop culture in Minnesota? What do you want to see more? And I kind of feel that's something I agree with. Like a lot of people would say we need more like events. Well, don't event. We need more of this. Well, yeah, like we need more places to do break dancing and hip hop dancing. Yeah. Like you said, like, well, fuck it, I'll do it then. No one else is gonna do it.
Yeah.
If we had more of that going on just in our city, and less like faking for the whatever internet, we'd be in a lot better place.
And the less hating.
After you a lot of haters.
As you say.
Yeah. And it's all good, you know. Like that is what it is. It's focused on the mission and the vision. Right. More importantly, like the vision dictates the mission. So, what do you see in your mind's eye? What do you, like you said, like what gets you up every day? Like this right here, this work. Like it makes me lean into this. Like I love doing this work. I feel like this is why I was put on this planet. You know what I mean? It's like finding that thing that you really feel like you were put on the planet. And if you have to work another job, that's fine. But you got 24 hours in a day, 8 hours is on the job. You got another 8 hours. What are you doing with that time? If you sleep for 8, you got another 8. What are you doing? You know, like you got to really put that into your passion. and what gets you going. But yeah, I think like one of my critiques for the hip hop scene here in Minnesota, and I'm no MC or rapper.
No, I know.
I don't pretend to be, but I just feel like, and this is for dance too. It's like, number one, stop comparing yourselves or us as a scene to New York and Cali. I always hear people go, "Oh yeah, I got it from Cali." I don't care. I got it from Minnesota. Like, be proud of where you're from.
Yeah.
And don't settle for being a big fish in a small pond. Minnesota's a small pond. Yeah. If I hear somebody walk up to me and be like, "I'm the best rapper in Minnesota," I'm like, okay. Yeah. That's mid at best, probably. Like, the best breaker from Minnesota, you know, best breaker from Minnesota is pretty good. But it's probably going to be in this market, like, mid compared to the whole world. Yeah. So have a world view, like, travel to other events.
Might be scaled because you haven't seen the full competition scale, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, and I think, like, breaking is still, I'm going to be honest, like, I think it's the most true element of hip-hop still today.
I agree
it's the least commercialized.
Yeah.
You know, it at the end of the day, it comes down to your skill on the floor at that time. Yeah. You could be a rapper and have a really good image and make, like, catchy music and blow up and make a lot of money, and that's great, but you can't freestyle for shit. No. You know, or if you write, you can't really write something that means something. Yeah. Like, I hear, like, nerdy, super technical rappers that are, like, talking about scientific facts, and I'm like, and how does that connect with my life? Like, I start falling asleep, and I'm like, okay, I get it, you're technical, and you care. Like, it's great that you care, but you're not. You're losing me. You're losing me. I didn't come here for a physics lesson, bro. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of, like, I've heard some MCs here and around, like, do that. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
I think what you said is true, though. I think hip hop is more than just our music. It's like, it's dancing, it's art, like, you know what I'm saying? People drive.
Because, I mean, the 4 elements, we tend to forget about.
Yeah, we tend to forget. It's a lot of elements just the hip hop, not just the music.
Right.
So, I agree. I think breakdancing and dance is, like, the most authentic part of hip hop. Still authentic, still, like, underground, still not, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not commercialized. Like, it's hard to find it if you don't know it. You know what I mean? And I like that about the dance community.
Because, you know, there's a really old quote that, like, you can't sell a dance or like that. Like, you can stream a song or sell a CD, like back in the day, but, like, you can't put me in a package and, like,
no,
you know what I mean? Like,
come see me. You know
and I have actually thought about this because I was like, what is it with breaking specifically? Because I was like, well, you was able to market skateboarding. How is it? But there's a certain challenge to market breaking to that level of what you just said. Like, you can't put it and sell it.
Yeah, I think we're living in a really pinnacle moment right now, though, where that's changing. I think with breaking being the Olympics this year, like, also another big pivotal event that we threw last year here was the Breaking for Gold USA Midwest Open, which was one of 3 national qualifiers or qualifying events to create Team USA for the Olympics. So, like, that legitimization of just hearing the Olympics or Red Bull or, like, these big, and then, like, you know, you see breaking in all these dance shows. A lot of people ask me, like, what about, like, So You Think You Can Dance? Like, isn't that corny? I'm like, yes, but some of it's corny. But yes, but these are the people, like, it's meeting the masses, and then the masses come here and learn the real stuff. I'll use layman's terms to people who aren't. I'm not gonna use technical terms to people who are brand new to it. So I've been hated on for saying breakdancing because that's the media term. That's the whack term. Why you?
People always get mad about that shit.
Yeah. Why you promote breakdancing on your website? That's whack. Okay. Yeah, but if you say breaking, it's like breaking what? Breaking and entering? What are we talking about? like breakdancing, you have to meet people, the masses where they're at, and then when they come in, once you get them in the space, then you teach them, you know.
Right.
So
now here actually you're bringing me to another question I did want to ask. How could we go about bringing just the general audience more to the events? Because since back in the day, I see more dancers showing up to dancing events rather than just regular spectators. Mm-hmm. How do you think we could go about that here in the scene to try and just get the regular people to show up to battles?
I think some of the work that we're doing here helps with that. I think involve the kids.
Okay.
Because if the kids come, their parents come, their aunts or uncles come, their bigger brothers and sisters come. And so at a lot of our events, like at our anniversary events, you'll see it's like 50-50. It's like 50% competitors and dancers, and then it's like 50% like mom and dads, you know, or grandma and grandpas. And like we'll set aside chairs like for events. If you've seen at our studio, we have bleachers in the back. And we keep the bleachers for the grandparents and the older folks. And like, so if like a younger kid, we're like, get up. And they're like, why, man? I'm like, you know? So we try to.
Also teaching them respect, like how to interact in a public place.
Oh,
you know?
and also like have food, like real food. Like don't have Lay's chips, you know? Like, so we always bring out a couple food trucks. We partner with food trucks. And also make it welcoming. Like hip hop, if you aren't in the scene, it could look a little intimidating. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying make it like Barney hip hop and it's like, but like know how to talk to somebody that you don't know and like look them in the eye and be like, hey, what's up? Hey, we got this thing coming out. And again, don't expect these people to know right away. I think as practitioners, people in the community, we hate or we're critical of people who are just coming in. Like, hey, you don't know shit, man. Like, you don't know your history. Yeah, because I've been doing this for 5 days.
And that's why
you know, like,
and that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's weird.
Yeah, like when you're 1 year, even if you're 1-2 years into your craft, you're like 1-2 years old. You're a toddler in this.
Right.
You feel me? Like, don't hate on the people who are just starting if they have good intentions and they're not coming in and acting crazy. If they just want to be here, let them be here. And then put them on in a respectful way, I think. All hip-hop scenes, depending on the cities, it's like, who's that guy? You're not down with us. It's like, okay, bye. It's not how you're going to grow a scene.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So, and lastly, professionalism. Start your event on time, end your event on time, having clean bathrooms. Like a parent and guardian flew their kids from Denver, and they're like, I really appreciate that you had clean bathrooms. And like a lot of events I go to, we've all been to hip-hop events, like, you know? Like, so good food, clean your space, start on time, be professional, offer value, and you'll get the general public to come in. You know, so.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying no one, at least in Minnesota. There's a few people in Minnesota that are actually trying to get the community together, like DJ Low and all them. But we need more of, like you're saying, have good events, clean bathrooms.
We also need to just do more and start showing more love to the people and stuff.
You're right. And show love. But it's almost 6:30, isn't it? I can't see. Yeah. Where can we find you? Where can we like find House of Dance? What are the socials? They'll be popping up by your head. But.
Yeah, 100%. So so you can follow House of Dance Twin Cities on Facebook and Instagram at House of Dance TC. That's at House of Dance, T as in Tom, C as in cat. We have our website. If you're interested in classes, the class, you sign up through our website. That's houseofdancetwincities.com. I could do a better job promoting myself, but my name's Boogie B, and my Instagram is at BoogieB92. It's mostly dance content or dad content up there, but if you want to check me out. And then quick shouting out, our studio's 10-year anniversary is this year. It's going down in August. It's going down the week of August 17th. It's going to be a full week's programming. We're going to have people coming out from all around the world. So we're going to try to bring out pioneers of hip-hop dance and street dance. And it's going to be incredible. It's going to be everything I've talked about.
Check it out.
Yeah, plus definitely. More. Real quick, I'm just going to look up the dates. I should already know it. See, I'm messing up. I'm messing up.
In the meantime, for all you Minnesota people who are asking me, like, yo, I want to go to a breaking jam,
this is the one.
Check out the anniversary.
We're going to have a 3-day hip-hop master camp, like I said, with people from around the world. That's Monday, August 12th through Wednesday, August 14th. We're going to have a podcast, a live podcast, and a free community barbecue Q&A with our special guest DJs and judges. That's going to be on the 15th and 16th, and then the main event, battles on the 17th, venue TBD.
Do you know what the battle formats are going to be? 1v1, crew v crew?
Yeah, we're going to do, we don't know exactly the formats yet, but we're going to do an all-styles battle, we're going to do a youth battle, and we're going to do a breaking battle, and we're going to give away at least $10,000 in prizes.
Wow.
At least $10,000, if not more. We are looking for sponsors as well to come on board, and the battles, the main event, is going to be at a premier venue, probably in Minneapolis.
Okay.
So it won't be here. So yeah, just follow us, and we're going to have that content out later this month.
All right.
That's dope, man. I appreciate talking to you. Appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Yeah.
Sharing your
time
business.
again.
Yeah.
Sharing your
Busy
passion.
man.
It was dope.
For sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
so-
hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
Until
know.
next time, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in to the Gyst Rewind Podcast. Have a good one.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Oh, it was a good thing.